Hello, my friends. We're going to take a look at how to create a program of projects in Smartsheet. Now, I got a question from a student. I'm managing 20 projects. How do I get all of this information and put it into one place in Smartsheet so I don't have to open 20 different projects to show my customers, my stakeholders what is going on? So let me show you what we're going to be getting in today. By the time we're done today, I'll show you how you can bucketize all of your projects and you can have them all arranged like this. You can name them, number them, and you know exactly which number to go to so that you can check status, fluidly give updates in a meeting without having to open 20 different documents. All right, so let's start from scratch. Let's go to the home section here. And in the home section, let's hit create, and we're going to create a new report. We're going to call this 3 days out, 3 days out. We're going to make it a row report. We'll hit OK. And we're going to make sure that every project that needs to be included is selected. So you need to have all your projects at the ready. Let's click on this plus icon to reveal all the projects I'm going to be dealing with here. You can see each project has been given a name. I'm going to go ahead and just select that, select all icon, and let's hit next. Next thing we're going to do, now we've got the sheets all in here. We are going to go ahead and select the particular columns that we want in the report. So in the report, we should have a start date for sure. We should also have an end date, if nothing else. And that's how you're going to get the row data to show. Let's hit next. And clicking outside of that column, you can see we have the task name, the start date and end date for every single one of those 21 projects. Next thing I'm going to do is roll them up by using the grouping icon here. So I'm going to group by sheet name. So just type in sheet name and we're going to sort it ascending. Hit OK. And changes have been made. Let's hit save. And now you can see all of these projects are all in one place. You can roll up. It's kind of quirky in Smartsheet. It doesn't go 1, 2. It goes 1, 10, 11, 12. It deals with the ones, all the ones, and then it goes to the twos. So it's kind of quirky like that. And that's because I named the sheets as such. You can always go in and rename them, okay? And those are all the sheets. And all you do for each project as you are presenting status, you could simply roll them up and roll them out, okay? Let's go ahead and let's take that off. Hit OK, save. Now what it's going to do is just show you all the sheets without grouping. This is not a bad one to use when you want to run a report. So I'm going to create a report now. Remember, I called it the 3 days out report. So what I'm going to do first is make sure I've got all the fields that I want to see. I might want other fields, like if I hit column, I want to see assigned to. So let's say, okay, now I can see who this is assigned to. And that's an important one for me to add in my unique case of creating this report. Now we're going to do the 3 days out report. So we're going to go to the filter. In the filter criteria, we are going to choose the start date because we want it to be those projects that have something starting between now and the next 3 days. So 3 days out. So we're just going to choose start date. We are going to choose is greater than, because we want everything that is greater than. If you scroll down, it doesn't have greater or equal to. It doesn't have that. So we need to put it in ourselves using this logic. So we're going to say is greater than. We're going to choose today's date, which is the 5th. of August, and we're going to put in another condition for start date. So just type in start date again, and we're going to choose this time is not less than, because we don't want anything less than today. So you want to make sure it's not less than today. See, one little misdial and you're out. So greater than today, not less than today, and is less than 8:10. We could even say 8:08, but let's go ahead and see what happens. Now we okay. There's the data. So if you don't get every line correct, it will not give you back the data you're looking for. So just go ahead and use this configuration. Okay, let me put a box around it so you really see what I'm talking about. Right here, the start date is greater than today. Start date is not less. Make sure it's got the not, and then the start date is less than whatever date. So if I go ahead and change this to 8th, I should still get some data. Let's try that. So it's less than that. And say, okay. And I bet you it will still pull some stuff up. Let's see. Oh, I spoke too soon. It did not. Well, maybe that's because there truly is nothing in there. So 10th. Okay, here it comes again. Okay. So if it's, here's the logic again. You got to know how this thing thinks. If I said less than the 8th, right? It needs something on the 7th. There's nothing on the 7th. So an alternative could be less than or equal to, right? So I could have said less than, watch this, because we want to do 3 days out, right? So less than that, let's add one more condition. Start. And we're going to say is less than, and we can have is equal, less than or equal to. Okay. So beware of the word and versus or. I'm making these and, so it's going to be greater than today, and is not less than today, and is less than this, and is equal to this. Now, this could be problematic. This could be problematic for what I want to do. Let me move this down here and let me choose an or. The likelihood is I will get the data I'm looking for if I say all of these are ands and this is an or. So let's go ahead and try it. I know by now your eyes are rolling because there's so many permutations and combinations. Now we've got the data that we're looking for. It has given us everything that we needed to be starting and stopping at the right times. Now, if we moved this up here and it was an and, it's not going to give you any data. So one tiny little adjustment and the inclusion of an or can make a lot of a difference. And hit that okay, and there's the data you're looking for. Okay, now let's go ahead and let's clear out of this. We do not want to see all of this stuff. So let's go ahead and remove our filter. So now you can see the report. It's all being unfiltered. If we wanted to see everything again, all you do is sheet name in here, group by sheet name. Say okay. And that's it by sheet name. Collapse. Say okay. And everything's collapsed and is all nice and neat. So in any meeting, take a look at what you need, close it back up. Apply any filter you need, quick condition, start. You can see all the start dates that are greater than, everything that's greater than, let's say, 1st of August for the start. Okay, it, and just these have dates that are beyond the 1st of August. So it becomes very easy for you to reveal what is pending. Now, I'll show you another kind of functionality in the program. So down here, you can see this yellow one says analysis completed now. This is in number 4, right? I'm going to open number 4 and show you how that looks. So down here, we have number 4. Let's click on that. I want to show you how this works real time. So here you can see it says analysis completed now. This is the actual project, right? This is the 3 days out report that's pulling the data from here. If I go ahead and change this, for example, right here in the report, and I say analysis completed 24 hours ago. When I come over here, you don't see anything updated because it needs a refresh. This also needs a save. See, so what happens if we come over here and do a refresh? Let's reload. Let's see if anything has happened. Has anything happened? Has the change been registered? No, it hasn't, because in here you need to save and then it will be reflected in its individual sheet. So let's hit save. Now we've hit save. You can see this is grayed out because now everything's saved. So when we go in here, boom, it's done. It's refresh itself. See? Let's do another one just for giggles. All right, so coming in here, let's do secure required resources. Right there. See that? Okay. So in here, let's just double click and say all updates made. Hit enter. Again, you got to save it. You got to make it look however you want it to look. So let's go ahead and highlight this as red. Turn that on. Now it's red. Let's save. And let's go back to the actual sheet. Needs a refresh, needs a little bit of help. Let's reload it. Thinks for a bit, and it returns the information. However, it's not highlighted red. The highlight in the report will override the highlight in the native file because that's what it's for. It's to override it. So as long as you don't have a highlight feature in the report, it'll show you what you have in the native file. You cannot change these dates. The only thing that you can change seems to be the assignments, some of the text, but honestly, I would just use this for status updates. I'll not stretch to remove stuff from here. I would rather do it in here. See? So for example, if I delete obtain approvals, it's right click and let's delete that row. Cause a lot of havoc, right? Now, if I go ahead and save it, it will no longer be here. So let's go ahead and do that. And the point of no return. So it will not have this when I do a refresh. Let's reload. And you will not see that obtain line. That obtain line is gone. It's gone. And my schedule logic is now upside down, but it's only an experiment, right? So I don't really mind. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope it gave you some ideas of how you can manipulate data in the report. Remember, just turn off whatever filter. So this is a filter that's on. Just click and delete the condition, hit OK, and it's going to go back to showing you all the stuff that you've got in there. Remember that if you change a highlight in here, it will not reflect in here. However, if you change the text and the assignments in here, it will reflect in the actual file. So my advice is only use this for reporting and minor changes as far as text updates. I would rather add and remove tasks in the actual files themselves. In the same token, the way I set up that 3 days out, you can also set up, for example, show me every task for all these projects that is past due by 1 day and beyond. If I wanted to do that, I would use my filter again, add a condition. It would have to be the end. So the end date is equal to, so the end date is equal to today or less. So I would do something like the end date is equal to today, or the end date is less than today, okay? Equal, less than or equal to, right, today, and the status field is equal to, or let's say does not contain complete. And let's say okay. Now the status field isn't showing here. We gotta add it in. So let's look for status so we can see what we're doing. There's a status field. So even though it's accounted for it, we're not seeing it properly. Let's go ahead and let's remove this altogether for now. We can always go back in there and group it. So in the status, we've got not started, in progress, and complete. So what it's showing us is everything that is either not started or in progress. So it's showing us everything that does not have the word complete, which is the other two, which is what we're looking for, right? There you have it. Which means all of these should have been completed. They've all got end dates of less than today, but they haven't started. Now, if we go ahead and make an update to this and say complete, let's go ahead. Now you're going to see that all of these are going to go away. So let's go ahead. Let's make a little tweak so we can apply this again. Just a minor tweak. So we can say 6. I'm trying to fool it into thinking I've changed something. It's very smart. It knows I haven't. Let's go ahead and say okay. Well, you're going to see all of these completes are going to go because that's the criteria. So again, quirks here and there, tiny little quirks, but not insurmountable. From what I've shown you, I'm hoping that you're able to use the filters, and I'm hoping that you're able to use the column option so that you can get the data you need. Use the group option again to sort by sheet name and send in whether you want to collapse or expand, say okay. And there are all these pieces that meet our criteria. And again, it just makes it so much easier for you in a meeting. All right. Some of it was a little bit rambly, but you got to experiment with this stuff to know how to maximize software. All right. If you got any questions, you can always put them in the comments below. Thank you, my friends. And don't forget to hit like and subscribe and share with those friends of yours using SMARTSHEET to manage programs. One thing, though, I will tell you is, as you're managing these programs, you got to make sure that you put less and less data, the bare minimum, just barely good enough. That's the kind of data you want in these sheets. If you're putting so much data in these sheets, it's just going to give you more and more work. Take it from someone who's been there, done that, managed a program of 19 different projects with a lot of heavy stuff in there. It doesn't pay to be as detailed as that, especially when people on the team are mature and can manage the work themselves. So however you can get around putting so much content in there that you got thousands and thousands of lines, you probably want to use that if possible. I'm not saying cut corners on quality. If that upholds quality, then by all means do it. But if not, you got to make a trade-off. Do you want to spend all your day doing schedule stuff? I mean, look at how long this took me, right? Do you want to spend your whole day doing that? Or, do you want to keep things at a higher level, keep things just a little bit under the milestone level, just barely into those big tasks, maybe work package level, and see if you can manage it like that? If not, then you got to put all that minutia, all right? Not only do I use Microsoft Project, I also have the PMISP. So I am a scheduling fan. I just don't want you to spend your entire day on scheduling, because that's what used to happen to me. All right, my friends, you take care, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.